Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we'll be presenting Streamfest, a unified sports streaming platform designed to solve one of the industry's biggest problems, fragmentation. Currently, sports fans are forced to manage multiple subscriptions, switch between apps, and navigate disconnected ecosystems just to watch the content they want. Our team's core insight is simple. The market is not lacking content, it is lacking coordination.
Most sports fans are forced to switch between multiple apps just to follow the games they love. Streamfest changed its that by bringing live sports leagues, personalized discovery into one unified platform. Instead of fragmented viewing, users get one login, one subscription, and one seamless experience.
Market continues to grow rapidly, but that growth has also increased fragmentation. Consumers are becoming increasingly frustrated with disconnected streaming ecosystems. In fact, nearly 40% of US consumers canceled at least one streaming service in the past 6 months, reinforcing how subscription fatigue is reshaping the industry. At the same time, consumers are shifting toward platforms focused on convenience, integration, and centralized access. This creates a major opportunity for a platform designed around ecosystem coordination rather than isolated content ownership.
Our analysis identified three primary consumer segments within the sports streaming market. Budget optimizers focus on lowering subscription costs. Variety maximizers follow multiple leagues simultaneously, and convenience seekers emerge as the most strategically attractive segment. These consumers experience the highest levels of switching friction and subscription fatigue, making them the strongest fit for Streamfest's unified access model. Across the market, competitors continue prioritizing exclusive content ownership rather than simplifying access across ecosystems.
Here we size Streamfest's market opportunity and revenue potential. Using a segmented funnel approach, we narrow 131 million US households into a high value target market of roughly 7 million subscription fatigued sports consumers. Our pricing strategy centers around the $24.99 standard tier, balancing accessibility with ecosystem value. Even under a conservative 3% adoption scenario, Streamfest could generate approximately 62.7 million in recurring annual revenue. Overall, the opportunity is driven by fragmentation reduction, centralized access, and high consumer engagement.
Streamfest primarily targets convenience-seeking multi-league sports fans between the ages of 24 and 34. Approximately 38% of US households already subscribe to at least one sports-specific streaming service, making this a highly engaged and commercially attractive segment. However, consumers still face switching friction across disconnected platforms. Streamfest positions itself differently by competing on platform structure rather than content ownership, delivering a centralized access, reduced friction, and a more seamless viewing experience.
Susie Chase represents Streamfest's primary target segment, subscription fatigue sports fans who follow multiple leagues and constantly switch between platforms to access live games. His frustration is not caused by lack of content, but fragmented by access across multiple services and subscriptions. This persona illustrates the market gap Streamfest solves by creating one centralized platform that simplifies discovery, reduces switching friction, and improves the overall viewing experience.
Here we define where Streamfest sits in the competitive landscape. No existing competitor combines high platform integration with broad content ecosystem access. Platforms either offer depth or breadth, never both. Streamfest occupies that unclaimed position, competing on platform structure rather than content ownership. This structural advantage is what makes our positioning difficult for incompetents to replicate and gives Streamfest a durable edge in a fragmented market.
What makes Streamfest structurally different is that it functions as a coordination layer across fragmented sports ecosystems. Traditional competitors operate through league-specific or partially integrated models that still require consumers to manage multiple subscriptions and viewing environments. Streamfest shifts the basis of competition from content ownership to unified access and ecosystem coordination. This reduces switching friction, improves viewing continuity, and creates a more consumer-centric experience.
We identify our highest value consumer segment. This matrix maps consumers across two dimensions: fragmentation tolerance and content consumption. Our primary target, convenience seekers, sit in the high consumption, low tolerance quadrant. They follow multiple leagues, hate switching apps during live events, and actively want centralized access. Streamfest is built specifically for this segment, the one with the highest willingness to pay for a solution that actually solves their problem.
This perceptual map highlights Streamfest's differentiated position within the streaming landscape. Most competitors remain constrained by either fragmented platform structures or limited ecosystem breadth. The current market remains highly fragmented despite growing consumer demand for integrated access. Streamfest occupies a unique strategic opportunity zone by combining integrated access with broad ecosystem-level sports coverage.
Streamfest wins by solving the coordination problem in sports streaming rather than competitive solely on exclusive content ownership. Current competitors within closed league-specific ecosystems that force consumers to manage multiple subscriptions, switch between platforms, and navigate fragmented viewing experiences. Streamfest changes the basis of competition through integration, creating one centralized ecosystem that simplifies access across leagues and reduces viewing friction. This unified structure improves convenience, increases engagement, and strengthens long-term retention. The core insight is that the market is not lacking sports content, it is lacking coordination. As subscription fatigue continues to rise, consumers are increasingly valuing simplified, centralized access over isolated streaming services.
Ultimately, the sports industry is no longer constrained by content availability, but by fragmented access and platform inefficiency. Consumers are increasingly frustrated with managing multiple subscriptions, switching between platforms, and navigating disconnected ecosystems. Streamfest addresses this gap by delivering centralized access, ecosystem-level content breadth, and a platform structure that competitors cannot replicate. The market is not lacking content, it's lacking coordination.
Thank you for your time and attention today. Streamfest was designed to address one of the largest structural issues in sports streaming, fragmented access across multiple platforms. We now love to hear your thoughts, questions, and feedback regarding the market opportunity, platform strategy, and overall consumer value proposition. Thank you again for watching.